Hey, what's going on, ladies and gents? It's Richard Quo, and this week I want to talk about why taking care of our parents is a gift. Let's see. So, real quick, I've only been taking care of my dad for the past 5 months, and I will say, like, when I first had to start taking care of him, it was not exciting. It was very stressful, and there are points in my past 5 months where I just didn't even want to live. I was just like, I was so frustrated, and some people would say, "Hey, um, you know, good for you for taking care of your dad, and it really is a gift. So embrace it and appreciate it." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, this is so stressful. I just want my life back, you know." And I realize that after 5 months, that it is a gift in a way. Um, Look, I have not been in all the situations that you may have been if you're a caregiver for your mom or dad or someone else. But what I do know is that I'm a human being, and in a way, I think there's a lot of ways that we can relate stories. So, one thing that I've learned along my journey of taking care of my dad is that it's been a blessing to take care of him because I've had the opportunity to get to know him better. I'm going to pause real quick and kind of share with you what's kind of going on in the day to day with my dad if you have never seen any of my other videos. So, long story short, my dad had something similar to a stroke, and that affected his body and his mind, and his brain is always fuzzy. He has short term memory. He always leaves lights on, he leaves doors open, and he overeats, so I have to control his eating, and sometimes he pees in his bed, and there's all these things, and um, yeah, all these things that like used to stress me out so much, and they don't as much anymore. And so, why has this whole experience been a blessing? Taking care of my dad, I would say the main reason is my dad and I never had a relationship growing up, or a very shallow one. I knew he loved me, I knew he cared about me, but we just never spent time together, and I always kind of like resented that about him. But now I realize by taking care of him, I finally got to realize that he tried his best being a father to me, and maybe he didn't spend time with me like I would have liked, but I realized that he was trying his best given what he knew and everything. I think all our parents are always trying their best. Another part of the blessings of taking care of my dad is everything that I've learned along the journey. And, I've learned so much about being patient. I've learned so much about being accepting to my dad. Things that used to be annoying me, like him leaving the lights on and the water running or things like that. Like, I've also learned not only to be more patient, but to balance, like, what is important and what is worth stressing over. So, for example, lights. Like, I'm adamant about shutting lights off to, just save electricity or whatever it is. And he's been leaving them on nonstop. And then I realized after a while, you know what? That's okay. I'm just going to leave them on for, and this is kind of my rule of thumb, I guess. Uh, it was this idea that, if it's convenient enough for me where like it's not going to phase me, it's not going to bother me, I'll go ahead and shut the light off. But if it takes too much mental energy or like just emotional energy to be like, and I know I'm going to get frustrated, I'm not going to let it bother me. I'll shut it off later. My point being, look, we all run into these situations, but it's about how do we react to it, and in a way, it's about adapting so we don't get stressed out of our minds. This taking care of my dad has been a blessing in so many different ways. I've been able to spend time with him, and it's not. It hasn't been like the way that I wish it was. Like, like the fancy vacations or traveling and things like that. Although sometimes we have, but like spending simple things like going out to eat. Um, like sometimes it can be stressful, and sometimes I don't enjoy our conversations. But when I take a step back to think about certain situations, I realize, what, I do appreciate it. And sometimes, like today, I took him to like Subway, something simple, to go get food, and I remember just having this kind of calm and be like, hey, you know what? It's cool hanging out with my dad, even though he says a bunch of random stuff all the time. He's a talker. But yeah, just if you are caregiving or if you're just curiously watching this video, yeah, that's the power and the gratitude I have for caregiving, I guess. Um, Kind of silly video, but that's what I have for now. And yeah, if you want more video requests or have any other questions, drop them down in the comment section. I'll either make another video or I'll just directly comment on your comment. All right, take care and see you next week or see you soon. Take care. Bye.